Okay, so again, hi, my name is Dennis Irwin. I'm with Nortec Communications, and today we're going to talk about how to add voice to Office 365 E4 Lync using AudioCodes OneBox 365. Um, with that said, let's talk a little bit about the agenda. First, we're going to discuss Office 365 and Microsoft Lync to ensure that everyone on the call understands the features and functionalities that are available. And then next, we'll discuss the audio code solution, customer value, and do a quick summary. After that, if time allows, I won't give it back to you, but we'll do a little bit of a live demo, and I'll show you the Lync voice client and some of its features and functionality. So, currently, 60% of Fortune 500 companies have purchased Office 365 in the last 12 months. There's currently over 1 billion people who use Office products, and that's 1 in 7 people on the planet. Microsoft Office 365 is a Magic Quadrant leader. Um, uh, and something to note specifically is corporate telephony in Q4 2014, which is what we're talking about on this call. And for anybody who doesn't know, the Magic Quadrant is Gartner. 400 companies worldwide are currently using Yammer. Yammer is a product that's included in Office 365, which I'll talk about as we go along. And 90% of Fortune Global 100 companies are also currently Lync customers. So that's a pretty big number of the Global 100 companies. 90% of them are currently using Microsoft Lync. So, today with Microsoft Office 365, your organization has the opportunity to provide employees with best of class collaboration experiences across all kinds of devices in an integrated productivity suite. So, with that said, I'm going to talk a little bit about applications that are used every day. And the first application I'm going to talk about are Office apps. And, hopefully you're on Office 365 now. If you're on this call and you're not currently an Office 365 customer, we'd appreciate it if you could please contact your Nortec rep if you have one, or Allison Childs, who invited you to this meeting to get more information and get on board with Office 365, which we're confident you're going to want to do after this webinar. So with that said, I'm going to take a second right now and talk about Office 365 E4 and what's included in the Office 365 E4 license. I'm also going to do a poll really quickly and find out who's currently using Office 365. So if everybody can answer that poll for me, I'd appreciate it. And as we're waiting for that poll to be answered, I'm going to kind of move on and talk a little bit about Office 365 E4 and what's included. So in Office 365 E4 license, it includes all of the latest versions of the Microsoft Office suite, and that's all the time. So as as new versions and products come out, as long as you're on Office 365, you get access to all the new Office suite and products and versions. You can have Office on up to 5 devices. It includes email, calendaring, file storage, SharePoint team sites, social networking. Includes Office Online so that you can run your Office apps through a web browser. So if you're not at your own computer, you're still able to work through an online portal. Includes mobility. It includes video conferencing, which is multi-party video conferencing, which we'll go over. It also includes web conferencing, like we're using right now, which, as you can see, works very well. Voicemail, instant messaging, voicemail to text, and enterprise voice is the big plus that was added for the E4 Cal. And included with that also is, like I said, the voicemail. And in your voicemail, you get voicemail to text. And there's also so much more that you get with Office 365. And as I said, you can contact your Nortec representative, and we can give you a full demo and show you the true features of the product. But for our purposes today, we're going to kind of stick to the voice side, besides what we just talked about. So with that said, I'm going to give you guys another poll real quick, and this poll is whether you're currently using Microsoft Lync. So if you guys can answer that poll for me, I'd appreciate it. And I'm getting some good responses that are yes. Nice. So, with Microsoft Lync, so with that said, I'm going to talk a little bit more about, Office productivity applications and things that are used every day. I'm going to go ahead and start presenting my PowerPoint again here. So, in today's environment, technology brought us a very long way, right? It has given us, Office apps, video conferencing, audio conferencing, telephony, chat, instant messaging, web conferencing, and voicemail. Now, unfortunately, giving us all of these new capabilities has created a lot of separate silos. So typically, a company is managing many separate products in order to do the same thing that they could do with one product today, which is, and I'm just going to quickly kind of go over the Microsoft Lync product here for you guys, and the Office stack so you can really understand it, which is Microsoft Lync, which is an enterprise-ready unified communications platform that takes all of those separate silos, whether they're IM, voicemail, calendaring, email, telephony, video, and web conferencing, and builds a single great tool for information that saves administrators time and money and gives end users a great end user experience with a single unified identity. So just to show real quickly, in case you're not a Lync customer, this is what the Lync client looks like in front of you, and you have a single identity across all your contact cards. As you can see in the client in front of you, it has presence information, the ability to click to dial, voicemail, Lync calls, or external PSTN calls. So the next thing that's included in the Lync client, of course, is multi-party HD video. So the multi-party HD video can really support as many people as your infrastructure can handle, but what they suggest is only 25 for video. As you can see on this screen here, you get the 5 biggest people, and these are the active speakers, and that's their video, right? So the little guy on the little right is the presenter, which is my little image that you see with an ocean and a sun behind it. I took that picture out on the ocean. If I was presenting my video, which I will go ahead and start presenting my video, then you would see myself instead of that little picture, which is my emoticon, right? So the people on the bottom are not as active of speakers, and they are, they're just images, and as they speak, they come up to the top, and people move as they become active. Microsoft Lync also includes the web conferencing, and I just wanted to make sure everybody can see what the web conferencing looks like for the presenter. So for myself, this is what I'm actually seeing in my presentable content, which hopefully I'll have time to show you a little bit of this at the end of the presentation. End user controls, so yourselves, everybody on this call, this is what you're able to see, and you can see it's very similar to the presenter controls, and it's available no matter whatever kind of device you're using, which we'll talk to now. So you can use Microsoft Lync on your mobile device, your desktop, a conference room, a kiosk, pretty much anywhere that you have access to the internet or the client on your device. And with that said, what does it all mean? It means the best experience across all of your devices. And what does adding AudioCodes 365, OneBox 365 mean? It means that you can have cloud on your terms. So currently and presently, there's a little. It's not easy to add voice to your Office 365 because it requires a full installation of Lync on your premise, or it requires for you to pay a large sum of money per month to a hosting provider. With Office 365 and E4 and OneBox, we can leverage your Office 365 investments to create a true platform, including voice, video, conferencing, IM, and everything that you would need to do. So with that said, how do we do that? And I'm going to now move out of the Microsoft Lync and Office 365 world and into the more of the AudioCodes OneBox world. So basically, AudioCodes OneBox is a versatile Lync voice appliance for small businesses and enterprises, and it simplifies and accelerates voice deployments while using your Office 365 subscription to save you money, leverage time, and resources, such as Exchange all that kind of stuff can be in Office 365. So OneBox comes in 3 editions. It comes in a standard edition, a pro edition, and an enterprise edition, which we're going to go through in the next few slides here. And it now supports up to 5,000 users. Some of the highlights of OneBox are that it's a full Lync deployment in a box. So it's complete. It includes, SQL Server for identity management and archiving. It has dedicated connectors to integrate with Office 365. So you have true, real integration with Office 365 on a proprietary connector. It has a friendly management console, which I'm going to kind of show you some images of. And it's also available in disaster recovery mode, so you can guarantee your uptime. The OneBox 365 product comes in 3 sizes, and as we go through the slides, you'll kind of understand how you can sometimes have a need to mix and match some of these sizes. The first one we'll talk about is the OneBox 365 Standard Edition. It has a 200 user capacity. It's available in 5 different configurations. It's a combined gateway and session border controller in one. So with this OneBox, and I'm going to go over that on the next slides, you have everything. The Professional Edition has a 500 user capacity. It has all of the session border controller functionality, but it does not have the gateway. So you'd have to add a gateway, which we'll go over in the next slides. And the Enterprise Edition is a 5,000 user capacity, and the same as the Pro Edition requires a gateway. So with that said, I'm going to talk about the OneBox for small businesses and branches, that's the standard edition. It can handle up to 200 users. It's based on the Mediant Gateway codec. So if anybody is currently a Lync client or knows anything about Microsoft Lync's gateways and codecs, AudioCodes Mediant is the leader in the industry. They were 2013 Lync Product of the Year, and it's what we use at Nortec and on all of our Microsoft Lync deployments. It just happens that they've come out with a product to allow us to easily connect to Office 365. So it includes pre-installed on the gateway itself, Lync front-end server, mediation server, monitoring server, and an edge server. It has a dedicated connection to Active Directory and Office 365. It includes pre-built Windows Server, SQL Server licenses. It's a gateway and session border controller, as I mentioned. So it's really used for sites under 200 users or branch office sites where you have a Lync installation at your headquarters, or you have a OneBox Pro or OneBox Enterprise at your headquarters, which when I show you my diagram, you'll understand that. So that's the first product, which is the for small businesses under 200 users. So as I said before, it comes in 5 pre-configured models. Now these models are how you connect to PSTN. So it includes the gateway, which is your connection to PSTN, right? So you can see with the first model, you can do a T1 and 4 FXS ports, which are like fax ports or analog telephones. The second model is for SIP trunking instead of PRI trunking or T1 trunking. The third model is a BRI, and then we have E1s and other stuff for overseas. So this is a product that can not only be in the United States, but it can be used overseas as well. So the enterprise summary. So I'm going to kind of go over the enterprise products now. That was the under 200 user product. So for up to 500 users, as you can see, it includes all of the same items that the other standard edition included. However, it has the ability to do additional virtual machines. It also has, and it does not have the built-in gateway. They needed more power than for that many users, so that's why they put a separate appliance, so you would just need to add a gateway to it. Your gateway is what connects you to your PSTN. This device is what connects you to Office 365. Now, one thing I haven't pointed out yet is the Office 365 E4 licenses. As I said, it includes enterprise voice, but you have to have something to connect to. All of the user client access licenses are included in your E4 cal and automatically applied to the OneBox solution, so you can leverage your E4 client access licenses. The only thing you need to add to this, and if you were using the standard edition model, the only thing you would need to add is a Lync standard server cal. If you have an enterprise agreement, it's included in our enterprise agreement. If you don't, we can get you one through an open agreement. And then the enterprise edition, the scales up to 5,000 users. So it is a true enterprise solution for small, medium, and large businesses. With your HQ deployment, like I said, you can have up to 5,000 users. In a branch office deployment, you could have full survivability with the OneBox having PSTN connection at your branch office and Lync running on the OneBox itself. So if you lose connection to your headquarters, you will still have complete functionality if you're in a branch office, which is different than if you just have users at the branch office with no PBX type of connectivity. So here's a little idea of the sample architecture of the solution. As you can see, it's extremely simple. Excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. All right. In the past, in order to bring Microsoft Lync in-house, it would take many servers. As you saw the list of servers in the previous slides, it could take up to 5 or 6 servers. Depending on your deployment, it could take a lot more. And that's what's really been the problem. Also, the client access licenses are quite expensive for Microsoft Lync. So what's really been the problem is the cost of bringing Lync Voice on premise, especially if you're already an Office 365 customer. What Office 365 E4 has done is it's leveraged the client access licenses under the box, and what AudioCodes has done is it's taken all of the Lync roles and it's virtualized them onto this box in order to create a single appliance to connect to Office 365 and provide Lync Voice to all of your end users. So you can see, starting from the right and going to the left, I can tie to Active Directory, Exchange Unified Messaging, which would be in the cloud with your Office 365. And then we have our OneBox that ties, and we have our UC endpoints, which we'll go over in a second. Then we have, through our firewall or DMZ, the ability to go out to public IM clouds like Skype, AOL, Yahoo. We also have the ability to have remote users that do not require a VPN, and that's for full enterprise voice. They can use enterprise voice anywhere they have their PC, and I would recommend a USB headset. I use a USB headset, but you can use handsets as well. Federated businesses, we have the ability through the OneBox to federate into other companies and clients. So if you were to become a Nortec Office 365 E4 OneBox Lync customer, we would federate with you and have the ability to monitor and manage you IM between each other, and have presence information between our two systems and work very cooperatively. And we have the ability to do up to 250 SIP trunks and this is that number is based on the standard. You can do up to 500 SIP trunks on the enterprise. So I had mentioned that we do have the ability with the same solution to give you a full solution, including handsets. I personally use a USB headset, and I don't use a handset. However, a lot of people do want or require or need a handset. AudioCodes makes great Lync qualified IP phones. They're very reasonably cost. They look really nice. Actually, the screen's blue, so the backlit is blue, which is really nice looking. And as you can see, they have a couple of different models, and the models would depend on the level of employee. The one on the left is basically a standard, office worker phone. That middle one is more for a receptionist, and the one to the right is for like an executive or somebody who needs more features or functionality, like an admin assistant. Now, we have full integration with Microsoft Lync, so it gives you the ability to have HD voice over IP through these handsets. It's automatic provisioning through Microsoft Lync. We can get Lync presence indicators from the handset themselves. You can toggle it to your PC so that if you make a phone call on your PC, it automatically rings your handset. Simple sign-on and all that nice kind of stuff. So the next thing I'm going to talk about here is the management tools, and this is how we manage the OneBox solution. It's very simple. As you'll see, there's just simply a intuitive onboard GUI management system, and you can add usernames, passwords, you can do bulk imports, add or remove users, set it up to match your Active Directory. So as you can see, it's very easy. And simple to use. There's not a lot to do. All of the Lync roles are pre-built and managed inside of the box itself. So some of the monitoring capabilities, if you're using the AudioCodes phones, you have the ability to monitor call quality, users, and IP phone status directly from your management interface. Right. So what is Office, OneBox for Office 365? It's your one-stop solution for voice, video, applications. Pretty much everything that you could want would be included to create a complete unified communications platform. And now I'm going to talk just for a couple of seconds here about some case studies and things and cost savings with using OneBox. So, if you take OneBox and compare it to a traditional IP PBX without unified communications, then you can see, and that's the first slide that says 200 users on it, the first bar graph. OneBox is considerably less expensive than an IP PBX, even without unified communications. The slide to the right shows IPPBXs with unified communications, and you can see it's considerably lower there as well, even more so. So these are all third-party analysts and TCO. I can provide anybody on this call with the studies. But the next one's a little bit more compelling, which is, OneBox 365 is the most efficient Lync deployment. So there's multiple ways you can deploy Microsoft Lync. You can do, Lync on-premise with the plus cal. That's, you have to buy all 3 cals to get to the plus cal, all the servers. It would take about 5 servers to run Microsoft Lync in a 200 user environment. The second way to do it is Lync on-premise with Office 365 E4. And that's where you leverage your Office 365 E4 license and do a premise Lync installation, which is similar to what you're doing with OneBox, except for you have the 5 or so servers. The third way to do it is Office 365 plus hosted Lync. So you can get Office 365 and a hosted Lync provider. That's the third option of installing Microsoft Lync. And now we have a hybrid option, which we didn't have in the past, which is the fourth option, Office 365 plus OneBox 365. And leveraging the OneBox pre-built architecture and Microsoft Office 365 licensing, you can see our TCO for OneBox 365 with Office 365 E4 is significantly lower than any other type of Lync deployment. And again, this is something that we can provide you with a more detailed study. So in summary, with the move to Office 365, you took a step to modernize your productivity platform. Adding Lync Voice to provide an integrated communications experience is the next logical step. Deploying Lync Voice is a complicated and costly task requiring multiple servers and days and weeks of deployment cycle, sometimes months depending on the size of the deployment. AudioCodes OneBox 365 can help simplify the bringing up of Lync Voice and helps you save on expensive resources for installation and management costs for SMBs and larger enterprises. And a lot of that is what's covered in the total cost of ownership studies, is that the management, heat, power, all that kind of stuff is quite a bit lower by using a single appliance than it is using multiple servers. So we would just like to say, schedule your evaluation session with us. We can give you more information on AudioCodes OneBox. We can even get a web demonstration of the product live. I mean, I'm actually giving it to you now. I'm about to do it in a second, because all it is a connection to Office 365 using your current licenses. So as far as the talking about AudioCodes OneBox is concerned, that's all I actually have. Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask me any questions. And if you don't, then I'm going to kind of move on and show you guys some of the features that you get with Microsoft Lync Voice. So, because that's the thing that we're adding to what you currently have. Do we have any questions? I don't know if everybody's muted. Okay, so great. I guess we don't have any questions. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to just show you guys a couple of the features and functionality items that you get with Lync Voice. So I'm gonna take my Lync client here. I'm just going to move it on over here into my window. So everybody should now be able to see my Microsoft Lync client. And as you can see in the main window, I have all kinds of presence information on everybody. I even have images if they have images uploaded to their profile. So I can easily highlight over any of these people, and I can go to this little telephone peep. They call it a peek. And I can click on the little arrow, and, well, Adrian's not a good example. Let me go to George here, because he actually has phone numbers. I can click on this little arrow here, and as you can see, I can do a Lync call to George, which is just a straight call using a web voice. I could call through his home, his mobile, his work. I'm not going to leave that up there for long, because he'll kill me. Same thing with anybody else who has their information in Active Directory. All their phone numbers are there. All I have to do is click to dial, and I get PSTN voice, right? So that is how I can dial in Microsoft Lync from my client. The other thing I get when I move to Lync Voice is I get voicemail. So you can see here's my dialer. You can see here I have voicemail messages, right? And I'm going to show you, I'm going to check my voicemail messages somewhere else so that you can see the actual power of the product. I don't have to check my messages here. I can, but I can also do them in Outlook, which I'm going to show you guys in just a second. The other option, the thing you get, so you get the voicemail. Some other interesting facts. I entered this webinar straight from this client. So as I said, I can really do everything internally with everybody in the company through this client. I also, and we have another one going on this afternoon, but I also have the ability to IM somebody from this client, do a video call with somebody, start, sharing presentation, send an email, so I can send an email directly from my client, all that kind of stuff, and never leave the Lync client. Now, with that said, I can pretty much do all the same stuff through Outlook. So I'm going to show you that next. Down here you can see I'm simply using and this is a great headset, but I'm simply using a USB headset as my telephone. So I do not have a physical telephone with Lync Voice. I personally use my PC with a headset. Anywhere I go, my telephone goes with me. I don't need a VPN connection back to Nortec's network in order to run it either. I also use Lync Mobile on my phone, so if you call me, it's going to ring on my desktop, on my cell phone, and it rings everything simultaneously. I can take the call on any device and transfer between them. So that's enough said about the Lync client here. I just wanted to show you some of the additional features you get, which are the voice that aren't included unless you have the Plus Cal, which comes with E4. So in here, I'm going to move my Microsoft Outlook so you guys can see my my Microsoft Outlook client. You can see I have an email from, can you guys see that okay? Wait, oh, you're not seeing it, sorry. So you guys should be seeing my Microsoft Outlook. If you're not, I apologize. But in my Microsoft Outlook, you can see I have a voicemail from Adrian Sharma. Now, Nortec is using Exchange UM in the cloud, so this is all coming from Office 365, Exchange UM in the cloud. We do have a premise-based installation of Lync because when we installed our Lync, this Office, the AudioCodes OneBox was not available yet. So you can see not only do I get my voicemail to my email, but right here where it shows the voicemail preview, it transcribes it to, yes, it transcribes it to text. And I just played it, and you heard somebody's name. So it says, "Hi, this is a mail test for Dennis Irwin. I asked Adrian to send it to me earlier." Now, as you can see, I just put my mouse over Adrian's name, and it highlighted, and it shows a picture of him, and it shows presence information. From here, I could simply click, and I could call Adrian back. If he had phone numbers there, I could call his phone numbers that he has. I could also email him directly back from here. I could do a video call to him. I could do pretty much anything I want to directly from this client, and I don't even have to go into Microsoft Lync. So there's true integration between Microsoft Lync and Microsoft Outlook. So the other thing I want to show you really quickly is in the calendar view. So in my calendar, which is taking a second, you can see if I do a new appointment, I have the ability to easily click to add a Lync meeting. So I clicked it, it added a Lync meeting, gave a local dial-in, and all that information. If you have multiple sites, you can choose where the dial-in number comes from. If you have multiple locations and regions, we could have multiple dial numbers for one call in order to save on telephony charges. So with that said, that is my presentation on Microsoft Lync and AudioCodes 365. Unless anybody has any questions, feel free to go ahead and chime in and ask me any questions. I'm going to make sure everybody's unmuted. All right. Okay. If anybody does have any questions, feel free, as I said, to contact your Nortec sales representative or Allison Childs, who actually is the one who sent you the email invite. So you definitely have her information. And besides that, I would like to thank everybody, and I'm going to go ahead and stop recording now and end the webinar. Thank you very much for attending.